So here's a listing I saw on Marketplace. It was on there for about a month, and I assumed that someone was going to pick it up pretty fast, but I saw it market down, so no one's probably hitting them up because they're scared of a burnt engine. So I just pulled up, offered him $2,200. I said, hey, I'll get this thing out of your way right now, and I'll give you a handful of money. And he said, all right. So he forklifted it in the back of my Honda Fit, and I was happy. He was happy, and we all went home. So here it is. Pretty toasted up. Valve cover's gone. Blower spins nice though. There's a Gen 2 at 61,000 miles on it. Now let's see, figure out how I'm gonna get out of this car. So I'm just gonna put it on time lapse and get to it. All right, well, we got it out by the grace of God, skin of our teeth. Scratched my tint on the back a little bit, but I don't really care, it's whatever. This car just ceases to amaze me every time. It's probably the 34th Coyote I've had in the back of this car. This one was more difficult because usually I don't have a supercharger on it, so I have one of those valley plates you just bolt onto the valley and then easy to yank out, but this one is definitely its own set of struggle. So I'm gonna put the time lapse back on to get this thing on the engine stand. All right, so we got on the stand. I let all the way down and the front end kind of dips a little bit, so it has a lot of more weight on it than it's had. It's had a full Coyote long block on it before, but of course hasn't a supercharged one with intake and the blower, of course, and then exhaust manifold, cast exhaust manifolds on each side and all this bullshit burnt wiring. So we're gonna get all that off while we have all the room here, and it's light outside, still pretty nice out. And then we're gonna get all stripped down. So going back on time lapse for y'all. All right, so we got as much junk, burnt trash off as we really could. Some of the stuff is just melted into like other things, like the intakes melted into the valve cover here, and the VCT sensor wiring's melted in it. So I just started cutting stuff, so it's not like I really care about it. You're able to see some of the more in-depth damage. Of course, as you can see, all the valve covers and coils are gone. I already know a guy that can hook me up with those. I'm not trusting any of these injectors. They're all gonna get trashed. Some of the wiring is good. I'm assuming this is the map sensor right here. This extension's good. It got a little bit burned, but I just kept it just in case. Might replace that on it. The knock sensor harness is good. Even though I have 2 or 3 of those, it's always nice to have another, I guess. There's a few other things I had to take off, like some of the heat shields on the back. It does come with an alternator, I guess, even though it is locked up. This pulley's locked up just because of the fire, probably burned all the grease. Most of the pulleys turn. AC compressor turns, of course, comes the AC compressor, which is great. I only paid $2,200 for this whole engine, and as many of you know, just this head unit right here, just this blower, is around $1,500 to $2,000, depending on where you get it, either on the forums or eBay or whatever. It does turn fine. Of course, I'm on the fence whether I need to take the heads off this engine or not to get them checked out, but I did notice that both of these middle cylinders on the driver bank are pretty damp with oil, and I don't know if you can really see, but it looks like it's come from the valve stem seals. I don't know. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. I'm not opposed to taking the heads off. I do already have new head gaskets for it. I need to get head studs for it as well. You know how it goes. I got OPG crank gear for it. I got an oil pump change kit, the Ford Racing gasket kit that for all the stuff. Everything's of course going to get gone through. Everything's likely going to be replaced anyways because it's going in the Fox body inside, which is that car. You can see underneath all because it's kind of a catch-all right now. But We're definitely gonna be doing a pretty good once over on this whole engine. Make sure everything's good. The back of the engine doesn't look too bad. This thing apparently has 61,000 miles. I got the VIN number, so I need to check and see if this came out of a truck that was stolen and then burned down, or if the actual owner of the vehicle had it and then it burned down. We need to see if like maybe it was like ragged out before it had its demise. So we're gonna get to it. All right, so we got the breaker bar on here, and it's turned over pretty freely. It does get like a compression point maybe here and there, but I'm not really too, it's not really anything to hold your hat on. Yeah, it's a rough deal. Of course, GT 500 throttle body, that's garbage. Probably gonna get the blower rebuilt, or at least inspected. It's looking like this thing is pretty much gonna get torn all the way down. The more I think about it, the more I really don't want to take it out in the long run and put the whole engine together, blah, 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 make it look nice, throw it in the car, go to crank it up as soon as I get the whole car done, and it's just junk. So I'm likely just going to take it all down, rebuild it. I pretty much was planning on rebuilding the whole Coyote anyways. Now, here's all this stuff. There's a bunch of junk wiring, junk hoses, exhaust manifolds, F-150 engine mounts, some stuff from a side job I did earlier. So we're gonna load the trash can over there, all this junk in the back of the Honda Fit, take it over to the dumpster, trash it. Need to sweep up, clean up this concrete because it's my neighbor's garage right here, and I ain't trying to piss him off and be that kind of an asshole neighbor. So get that done, and then we got some errands to run. Got these heads sold along with that short block and a few other parts. I got all those parts sold for $2,500 shipped, along with some other stuff I had kicking around. I probably could have sold it for more if I waited, but for this opportunity, I couldn't really pass it up. The amount of stuff I was getting on the big end is going to more than compensate for just some junk Coyote parts I had kicking around for this guy in San Diego or whatever. So stay tuned. So here finally is the engine on the engine stand inside my garage. So I'm definitely going to be doing a series on tearing it down, inspecting it. So don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Thank you for watching.